Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, we do have some rank 4 6-star blade footage thanks to Gλγnghλ謹. So huge thank you to him for sending through the clips, and obviously a huge shout out to Evizone, who I have partnered up with, which is the best way to contact me and send me your gameplay or just any other video showcases you want me to show on my channel. You just have to click on try it for free, enter your username, email, account will be created for you. And best of all, we're actually doing $1,500 community challenge to do with Eternity of Pain, where basically you have to do fight in one of the 3 categories: fastest unboosted solo, lowest PI solo, or meme / funniest solo, which is, always a bit subjective there. And record it, send it over to us, and you have a chance to win $100 every single week. There will be 3 winners for 5 weeks straight. So if you are very good at this game, you have a chance to prove it and make some money along the way. So huge thank you to Evizone for giving opportunity for me to give something back to you guys. Right, all that being said, let's get to the gameplay. So we have a rank 4 6-star blade right here. So the first one is a very simple fight in Realm of Legends against Rhino, where he does have his danger sense active. He also does seemingly have Heimdall synergy there, and on top of that he's running Liquid Courage Double Edge. So he should be doing quite a lot of damage there, but let's see how it goes. So that parry bleed is nearly 1,000. That is quite a lot for a mere parry bleed. Obviously, those level 1 bleeds do last longer, and the best benefit from them is all the extra power that blade gets. And I'm not gonna lie, if I had a 6-star blade, I would have likely taken him to rank 3 at this point, and that is primarily because of Battlegrounds and because of Alliance for Defense. He's still a very dangerous defender, but I do think that there is still quite a lot of capability left in this guy in the current game meta. But here we can see that that is pretty much end of the fight. I believe that was 62 hits or so, and it didn't last long at all. It was well under 1 minute. I'm gonna tell exactly how long that was if I can. So that was like 50-second fight there. Not too bad for a champion that's, largely considered to be somewhat outdated. But now we're gonna have a fight in Labyrinth of Legends as well against Red Hulk. So once again, another danger sense fight, and I do think that that is kind of like the big difference. When the danger sense is active, it definitely does have quite a lot of potential and promise, because that ability accuracy reduction, well, it is very powerful. It is nearly the same as Magneto's, I believe, if you have Stark Enhanced Spider-Man on your team, but obviously Magneto can achieve that without need for any synergies. One of the problems with Blade was obviously that Kabam actively started countering Blade by specifically not releasing new dimensional beings, by, kind of refusing to put villain tags on clear villains like Proxima Corvus and so on and so forth. And, Sabretooth is a mercenary, not a villain, very suspiciously, even though his description literally says that he enjoys killing for fun. But, that's typical Kabam shenanigans. The same thing that Kabam is doing with like Quake and Ghost and stuff for a while now. And seemingly what Kabam is going to start to do with Hercules, I think. Because Wong, is it Wong? Yeah, I think Wong conveniently kind of randomly just destroys that immortality there. But we can definitely see that those bleeds with the class advantage are putting in a ton of work here against Red Hulk. And every time he drops a level 2, a significant chunk of his health goes away. My personal favorite playstyle with Blade was kind of spamming level 1s, and then eventually you naturally build up to level 2, but primarily focusing on just keeping on as many bleeds as I can on opponent, because that lets you get as much power as possible. But obviously that's not necessarily the most Liquid Courage Double Edge friendly playstyle. Blade can handle Liquid Courage Double Edge very well, but you do have to alter your playstyle a bit, which can be somewhat annoying. So I personally, for most part, preferred running him without Liquid Courage Double Edge, but again, each to their own. And here at this point, he's gonna go for parry, get in some of that power gain, probably another parry. And one of the most underrated abilities about Blade as well is how quickly he can shrug out debuffs once he builds up his power. So I do think that Blade still has quite a lot of uses if you use a bit of outside of the box thinking, especially thanks to his quicker debuff, shrug off, and obviously ability to inflict damage just with parries and then special attacks, or just go for level 3s and stuff like that. So I do think he can work around in a very sneaky way to quite a lot of nodes. Here Red Hulk seems to be quite stubborn, not wanting to throw that special attack. That seems to be a very common trend most recently, more and more. I have definitely had more and more fights where opponent just doesn't throw a special attack for like good 30 seconds, 50 seconds. But as soon as he does, obviously, gets punished with a level 2, and that level 2 does a ton of damage. It's also a 14k medium crit damage. That is quite a lot. And here the fight is nearly over. Single level 2 to finish it off. And now we do have a longer clip here. I do not know exactly which path this is in Act 7, I think. I wouldn't say Act 7, looking at health pools. But let's check that out. How is Blade going to perform here? So once again, his danger sense is active. Now he does have the node where he has to use a special attack every 15 hits, which obviously Blade doesn't have any problems with at all whatsoever. And here we can see how he finally countered a part of Footloose, because the evade buff triggered, but the unstoppable didn't, which, you know, is kind of good enough, I suppose. But yeah, it's kind of funny how Blade interacts with a lot of nodes. It's similar to the way Magneto can interact with nodes and Domino as well by shutting them off. But yeah, now he does need to go for a special, and that special obviously is going to deliver quite a lot of damage. Now, at a rank 4, Blade definitely does seem like a lot more bursty champion, because that damage is quite good. Because this was like 400k HP, or 380k HP, so that was a lot of health to take away. And moving on, now he's going to be going up against Green Goblin, which again is a villain. Therefore, it is going to be a nice snack for Blade right there. Obviously, any champion that triggers Danger Sense and can be bled, you know, Blade does phenomenal against. I do not remember enjoying Blade that much against bleed immune champions, because obviously then your power gain is significantly kind of hindered. Now he again gets to his level 2 perfectly in time, and that's already about 40% of that red Goblin Rosso. Is that Spanish? I feel like it's Spanish, right? Is it Spanish? I don't know, but Goblin Rosso sounds quite cool. Anyways, he does need to bait out that level 2 from this goblin. Not a big deal. Finally, he throws that level 2, and obviously, one of the cool things about Blade is you can quite easily take a lot of things on your block, because you know that you can just regen it later. I know for many people that regen was one of the main selling points for Blade, but for me personally, it was always more of an afterthought, if that makes sense. I never overly kind of like to rely on that regen, but hey, he definitely put in work in this fight with that. And now we're going to be going up against Dormammu, that is a bleed immune champion. Now, the cool thing about Dormammu, or the convenient thing about Dormammu, is Dormammu is one of the very few dimensional beings that we have in the game. Because after Blade got released, we really stopped getting dimensional being champions. And most of the new ones, well, there aren't most of the new ones. I think we only got like 2 or 3 new dimensional beings in like last 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. One of them is CGR, which is bleed immune as well. So that is that. But hey, even if dimensional being is bleed immune, obviously Blade can still put in work. Blade is the champion that I would want the most from the current featured 6-star, but unfortunately, just, you know, statistically for me, it's not really worth going for that crystal anymore, because I'm really looking only for Blade and, you know, maybe Craven, just to have him, and you know, first time dupes on Sauron and Toad would be neat, but you know, I can do without that. So there aren't really all that many champions that I'm looking for, so I hope I do get Blade at some point in the future, but it's not looking like it's gonna happen like anytime really soon. I do think he is in the basic pool now, isn't he? Can somebody correct me on that? I'm not entirely sure about it, but here we go regardless. And here we can see that Blade did bypass the node. He did go over his 15 hit counter and he did not get a degen. So that's a neat, convenient thing there as well. And here he's definitely, you know, showing off that regeneration capability that Blade has. It is his SIG ability, so obviously it's hail scales with more SIG levels, and I'm not entirely sure what SIG level is this guy at the moment. Finally, the Dormammu throws his level 2. Obviously, he takes some block damage, but he can regen a good chunk of it. Here he goes for level 1, just to kind of get rid of that 15 hit count timer, not to tempt the RNG again. But we can see that even the medium hits, you know, doing 10k damage definitely is quite decent. And obviously, the fact that Blade doesn't have any, you know, buffs on his own aside from dexterity is definitely helpful. And again, that health bar popping up is just quite convenient. I must say that at some point I was personally so over Blade. Like I used Blade for like 2 years for virtually everything. And then when it came time when I could not, I fully relished it. To a point where I probably should have used him more at some point, but I just really didn't want to play Blade for a really long time. But now looking at this clip, I kind of really want the champion. I really do want the guy back in my account, because I do think he's being, at the moment, heavily slept on, partially because he's very, very rare as a 6-star champion. He's not been in crystals for long, and there has only been like one arena for Blade, I think. And looking at these clips, I really do want to get a 6-star Blade. I would definitely rank him up. I would definitely rank this guy up. Maybe not for exact same reasons as before, but still, I really do want to get this guy. But once again, so here we are against iHulk. Obviously, the danger sense is active. He's recovering any recoil and block damage very easily without much problem. Again, bypassing Footloose for most part. Again, letting that evade buff slims through. But still, for most part, when opponents throw special attacks, you know, it's quite easily deals with that. And what is going to be his play now? Red Hulk is on... stoppable, not a problem, just wait that out a bit. Plus, you know, obviously regen, get some power, go for a level 1. Again, you know, for a level 1 that has 3 hits or so and big bleed, still 10k crit, not too bad. And that Red Hulk is probably going to be dead here just from the parries, and he finishes very safely with 40+% health. And now America Chavez now. This America Chavez can actually be a very big problem. And here we can see, but America Chavez being dimensional being gives Blade the danger sense even without synergies, which is definitely very convenient. Now, unfortunately, he did make a mistake there, and he interrupted America Chavez's heavy attack, so she activated that second dimension. And if I'm not mistaken, that second dimension is the one that deals damage back to you. So that is the one you definitely kind of want to avoid her having on. Well, obviously, ideally, you want to avoid her getting any dimensions, but the second one is especially dangerous. So that expires, but she does go for a level 1. Unfortunately, both of the Footloose buffs do trigger, but not to fear. He goes in for his level 1 here. It looks like he's decided that he's going to... oh no, he gets that level 1 out, no problem, dex that. And she's going to go for another level 1. Again, Away did not activate, Unstoppable did. But you can, if you have your parry game on point, which has been a very sore subject recently, then Blade definitely is still a very powerful champion. And now here he goes for level 2 that nearly takes her out, but a follow-up combo does the job. So I think that is going to be pretty much it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And if you have, definitely hit all the like and subscribe buttons. Huge thank you to Gλγnghλ謹, and again, do not forget to check out the video description and have your go at Evizone community challenge that we have. I will leave all the information in the video description, and I shall catch you guys later. See ya. With Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next